Sunshine's Corner, being brought to you by Quint and Richie Studer.
It is a beautiful Monday morning. Trusting you've had a wonderful weekend. And of course, you've stepped into the hottest spot in town. That is Sunshine's Corner. As I remind you every single day, it is a pleasure to get up and be of service to you. Always know that we are here to be the voice for the voiceless. We are here. This is the place where you can talk about the difficult conversations and feel comfortable doing that. And of course, I always invite you to be a part of the conversation, because if there is something that I may overlook, or if there's something that you may need to know, then look, feel free to reach out to me at 850-432-7768. You can do that today, because I've got a fantastic panel with me today. We're going to be talking about something that's top of the list right now that I want to find out even more about. I'm talking about mental health. We've got things that are happening and we wonder why, and I've got questions because I've got two people here today that are absolutely fantastic. I just found out that one drove all the way from New Orleans.
Yes, ma'am.
That would be Mr. Roderick Johnson.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
You told me, but wow, now that makes me feel special.
Well, we both feel special you having us on your show.
You are special. And I tell you what, Dr. Stromas, I've heard so much about you.
Thank you.
And you know, I have been going around everybody. I said, I gotta have him. I gotta have him. And then I reached out to my girl, Haley. She said, let me make a call.
Thank you for having me.
But no doubt. I'm glad to have you here with me, because what I want to talk about, number one, is what you do, how you help in the community, what you provide, so that everybody will know that, look, when I say we give out the things that you need to know and how to go about getting it, this is what Sunshine's Corner is all about. I'm going to start to my far right and go with you, Mr. Johnson. Am I giving you the right credentials?
You're giving me the right credentials.
Okay.
Mr. Johnson, I'm an LPC, that stands for Licensed Professional Counselor, and I'm residing right now in Louisiana. I actually work in a city outside of New Orleans called La Place. I'm the clinical director for MHR, which stands for Mental Health Rehabilitation, and we do community-based therapy.
Really?
So we go into the homes, and you know, they come to me. This is how this operation works. If you wanted to know that, they come to me. I do the assessment, give them a diagnosis, and then I assign them therapists that go into the homes, and we do community-based therapy.
Wonderful. Okay, I want you to tell me what I need today. What do I need?
Look, that would be an hour assessment that I have to do.
How much? Get my assessment together.
Yeah, but
how much?
We're gonna charge you $250.
That's good. And I'll tell you what, Dr. Stromas, I've heard so much about you, and I'm glad to have you with me. And having him drive from New Orleans, you got some power.
Nah, he's just down for the mission.
Okay.
Down for the mission.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, now let's talk about you.
Yes,
I've heard so many things about you and the good stuff that you're doing with right here in our community. I want to say to you, thank you. And tell us about you.
Yeah, so I'm a licensed clinical psychologist at a federal hospital. I'm a professor, and I also do independent contract work doing evaluations.
Really?
Yep.
Are you evaluating me now?
No, ma'am. So you said 250, right?
Yeah, 250.
Only 250?
No, I'm joking.
That's my discounted rate.
Yeah.
But listen, this is what I want to really bring to the top of mind, because we know now that the things that are happening, and with the statistics that I've found out here in Pensacola, in Escambia County, the high rate of suicide, the high rate of overdoses on drugs.
Yes.
And does that roll back to mental health, do you think?
That's actually all mental health. So if we're looking at suicide, most people who commit suicide, 85% are usually going to have depression. And in a community like ours, the number one thing right now that is an issue, if we want to do the top 5, that's going to be depression, anxiety, because depression and anxiety usually linked. Then conduct disorder. Then from conduct disorder, you're going to have substance use, and I can't think of the fourth one right now. It's above me right now. But of the top 5, it's going to be depression, anxiety, conduct disorder, and substance use. The 5th one is passing my mind right now.
Okay, when you say substance abuse, so therefore, if a person is dealing with something,
yes, ma'am.
Let's say bullying with the kids. I say that because, just a week ago there in Atlanta, you heard about that, right? That 14-year-old, that with the gun.
Yeah, in the school. Yes,
in school. And we've had so many of those shootings that has transpired over the years, right? And with that being a part of mental health, what is it that we're missing? What link do you think that we're missing that these kids feel so comfortable? What has me blown away is, how in the world do you get the gun? Yes. I mean, those men around, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think one of the questions I ask is, why is that a solution? Why do we have to go to violence? to
Exactly.
resolve. Yeah. So when we're doing the mental health symposium, the title is breaking the stigma. So we want to break the stigma of asking for help. Because what if we would have had that young child step away and ask for help? How do he cope with bullying? Or why is the bully? So are they trying to resolve something? Why are they taking their pain and placing it on someone else?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you're about to have a symposium?
Yes, ma'am.
Talk about that.
Yeah. So it's called Breaking the Stigma. This is the 3rd year in a row that we're doing this. The goal is to take what we've developed and give it back to the community, not have these professional conferences where the community has no access to it. Because many of the times I've been to plenty of conferences and I'm like, okay, it's about my people, but my people isn't here. So our goal is to go to the community, have a more so culturally based conference that's more so welcoming, talking about the things that go on in the community, but bring the community to it. So we have food, catering, we have a DJ, we have professional speakers coming in. This year we're going to have barbers, we're going to have snowballs for the children. The goal is also to provide black ties for the young men, the boys to come, because eventually you're going to have to wear a tie, right?
Exactly.
A job interview,
At
school
some point.
function, church, at some point you're going to have to wear a tie. So we're going to provide those resources as well.
Wow. Well, I heard you say that we're having the symposium, but we're not there.
Yes.
So we're saying that the black community is not showing up? Yes.
Yes.
But I would think, and I'm not trying to step on you.
No, go right ahead.
It's similar to going to a PTA meeting and that child who's having disciplinary
Come
problem,
on.
that parent is not
Not
there.
there.
And I want to go back to and say something on the topic too. A lot of this is not me calling a parent bad, but it's not having parenting skills. Because a lot of times I'm seeing a child with warning signs of disorders, me not knowing these disorders and me not knowing how to handle these disorders. Some of my bad parenting, and I'm not calling anyone a bad parent, but I'm saying some of my bad parenting, that's meaning screaming, yelling, these are going to be things my child starts to mimic. So when I mimic behaviors, if you hear a 3rd grader talk, you'd hear their parents talking through that 3rd grader.
Because they mimic what they see.
They're mimicking what they're seeing. And this is some, let's say, oppositional defiant. A person with oppositional defiant disorder, if my mom yells and screams at me, that doesn't help me.
Right.
It only hurts me in actuality because I start to produce those same type of behaviors when I'm at the schools, when people talk to me. And if something worked before, I revert back to something that worked again. So you yelling at me and me yelling back and you stop yelling, I think that'll work again. Even if it's not gonna work, I continue to use that behavior until it works again.
Okay, can I say something?
Yes, ma'am.
Back when I grew up,
I know where you
We know where you're going already. We know where you're going.
you let me say back something like my mama, okay? You never would have met me. I mean, but what I'm saying is, now I'm old school. Not that old school. I'm old school as far as when I reared mine.
Yes.
I have 2.
Okay.
And I went there. I mean, but so what you're telling me today is that
Provide an explanation behind it. So when
Okay.
it comes to spanking, provide an explanation why. Don't just do it just to do it without an explanation.
I didn't do it just to do it. I just throw that butt up.
But explain to them why, right?
Okay, I got
and then also don't attach the word love to it.
Yes.
Because that gives them the inappropriate sign of what love is, right? It's love,
so
pain.
I'm whooping your butt because I love you.
Yeah.
I wouldn't suggest to say that. Why? Because they attach love with pain. So when they're in a relationship and they're receiving pain, oh, this must be what love is. And then they repeat that cycle with abusive partners.
And then I would want to know about your parents. I hear you say about the discipline, but I'm quite sure you probably got enough positive affirmations too.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, so this is where the imbalance is coming. They're not getting those positive affirmations.
Oh, okay.
They're not being told you're a wonderful child. They're not being
Right.
told, son, I thank you for cleaning up your room. Son, I appreciate you doing this. Daughter, I love you for doing this.
Right.
Those positive affirmations counteract a lot of that. If the only thing I'm doing is being negative, I'm only going to mimic negative things because that's all I'm having in my household.
Okay, so does that come down to say, and I'm going to be as transparent as I know how, because of the fact that we have such a bad thing that's going on in the community here that I see. And God knows I want to help. If I can just talk about it to help find a solution. And I hear what you're saying, Dr. Stromas, and I hear what you're saying. You know, I love you, son. Pop. I mean, no, you're laughing, but no. You know, with my parents, that's how it was. You know, when mother said something, but now, when you say something to them, what you say, mama? I got your mama. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, you're laughing. I can see you holding it in, but that's how it was.
Yeah.
But so my thing is today with the kids, with them, is it because of, this is me on the outside looking in, the parents are so young. The parents are so young. Grandma is 30. Do you hear what I'm saying?
Yes.
So therefore, if mama is 20, 18, 19, whatever the case may be, you see the scenario I'm painting, right?
Yes,
So if there's none of that strong foundation there, isn't that something also that grandma, ma, and the child needs?
Yes. That's generational curses, though. You know, we all have those in our families, and we all have those in our community. And I think a thing that we've gotten away from, and I can speak on my life, I don't know my biological dad to this day.
Okay.
I didn't necessarily turn out the worst, but I think I had examples of good men around me.
Of course.
And I think sometimes that community-based loving is not what we're doing anymore. We're waiting for someone to come in our communities and clean up. We're not doing like me and Jeremy going out, Dr. Stromas going out to the community, cleaning up our own community. We're waiting for someone to clean up something that we could be cleaning up ourselves.
Absolutely.
And I think that's what the old school was about. It was a community. Just like you said about your mom, I guarantee you, had you done something down the street, the lady next door
Miss Clement was gonna get me first.
Yes.
Or the teacher would have called.
Teacher, look, and you better not say anything because she's gonna tell you, but then you go home and get another one.
Yes.
But it was nothing like you hit my child.
That's what we're saying. That's what I'm saying.
It was nothing like, okay, now you know if she sees you what's gonna happen, and then when you
Yes.
get home, you're gonna get a second round.
Yes.
And I mean, but now we've lost that connection. So with the fact that what we're raising our kids in a different day and time, and don't get me wrong, I believe and I know that we've advanced. I know that we've advanced. But the foundation, if we don't have that foundation, is what I'm saying, that little Susie and little Bob, you know, got the loose lip and, you know, want to be the bad mama jamma.
Yes.
And so maybe my next question is, how are we going to get mama and grandmama to come out to these symposiums so they can see their era so that their kids will have a better way?
I think one of the parts is understanding the strength of accountability. You can't grow without being accountable first.
Accountability, I agree.
So creating like a welcoming atmosphere and environment. So that's why we have these different parts of the event that caters to our culture, like the music, the food, the presenters that look like us, that talk like us, come from the same environment. So,
exactly.
Yeah, creating a safe space. I think.
Yeah, and that's always got to be. And I guess this is going back to us even beginning before this even started in about 2014. We were classmates, and we were saying we want to make therapy where anyone wants to come, where it's
that's
positive.
Sweet. Well, you guys started that up way back then.
Yeah, we
Good
were in
job.
grad school. We were in grad school then, and we said we're going to make therapy cool. And a lot of times, if you think about it, I can remember going to doctors, and the doctor made you feel like you weren't a person.
Exactly.
And you felt uncomfortable around that person. You just wanted to hurry up and get out of there. We wanted it to be, like you said it before, a safe place, an environment that's conducive for people that's similar to you. Not a place where you feel unwelcome and unwanted, but a place you feel celebrated, you feel safe, you feel comfortable. Just like a session with me, I want anybody that sits in front of me to feel open to disclose and, you know, have open dialogue. If you don't create a safe place first, that can never happen. And that's what we're trying to create, an environment that's not the typical environment, because we don't feel like we're typical therapists either.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So let me go here then. With the two of you being young black doctors, counselors,
Yes,
doing what you do, and with our community where you see that there's a lack of participation, maybe is it because of now that there's somebody that these kids feel like look like me and can relate to me?
there you go.
Is a different story. So if mama go out and take her to Mr. Rogers,
All right.
and Mr. Rogers does not understand my culture, so therefore I'm just talking to Mr. Rogers, but Mr. Rogers cannot, how could I say this? If Mr. Rogers has a thing in the back of his mind already about me,
Implicit bias.
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
how can Mr. Rogers help me if I'm already fearful of talking to Mr. Rogers, because Mr. Rogers don't look like me, does not know where I come from, but yet Mr. Rogers gonna sit here and give me my results? I don't think so. So what you're saying is to let the parents know, please parents, these young men look like us, been there, done that, got the T-shirt, so we can relate to our kids, and our kids will feel better relating to us.
Yes.
Am I on the right page?
Absolutely, and Mr. Rogers should have learned cultural competence in his program too. Yeah. So Mr. Rogers needs to take accountability, because a misdiagnosis creates mistreatment, and that creates a misguided person, a misguided
Absolutely,
child.
absolutely. I mean,
that creates that stigma that continues to follow us, because if you look historically, we've been those people who've over-diagnosed and underrepresented in areas, especially in healthcare.
Absolutely. Oh, God, I'm learning so much. Oh, God, we need to do this more often. But listen up, everybody. We're talking to Mr. Johnson, and, of course, we've got Dr. Stromas here. And we're talking about a topic that's so important to the community. Parents, I know that the kids are in school. But what I want you to do is take down this information, because tonight at 6 o'clock, make sure you have the kids watch this, because we're going to play this again today at 6 o'clock. So the kids can watch this and see that there is somebody there that wants to help them, look like them, know their culture, and ready to give that hand that they need. Stay right here, Sunshine's Corner. We got more coming for you.
Navigating healthcare is hard. Baptist makes it better. With convenient locations, easy scheduling, and skilled, compassionate doctors, all when you need us most. The next time you need care, let Baptist make it better. Baptist Healthcare.
Empire Truck Sales, located at 2255 West Detroit Boulevard in Pensacola, is your Freightliner, Western Star, Detroit Diesel, and Cummins dealer for Northwest Florida. Open 7 days a week, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 10 p.m., Saturdays and Sundays, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., providing sales, service, and parts. Empire Truck Sales is also your Oasis dealer for Freightliner custom chassis RV and motorhome repairs. Running I-10 will get you in.
Many who consider facial plastic surgery are concerned their results will look unnatural. But with over 20 years of serving the Pensacola community, his thousands of satisfied patients have made Dr. Derek Jones a trusted reconstructive and facial plastic surgeon known for industry-leading results that look natural. Call 850-484-FACE to schedule a consultation at one of our locations in Pensacola and Gulf Breeze.
I'm Dr. Derek Jones. Trust your face to a facial plastic surgeon.
Animal Allies is looking for volunteers, and there are many ways that you can help. From taking care of cats to using your computer and social media skills, any and all assistance is greatly appreciated. We have morning and afternoon shifts every day or help at adoption events. You can even foster a kitty at home. And it counts towards community service hours for bright futures. Find Animal Allies Florida on Facebook and Instagram, or go to aaflorida.org/volunteer.
In our democracy, your vote matters. Make your voice heard. Get registered. Seek out reliable reporting on the candidates and issues, and vote on or before November 5th. Visit vote411.org. This message is furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
And welcome back to the Hottest Spot in Town. We're talking about Sunshine's Corner. You see, I'm sitting there talking to Mr. Johnson and Dr. Stromas, so I'm cracking jokes, but I'm real. But listen, we are having such a strong conversation. I want to encourage the community now. If you've got questions, something you would like to find out. Now, I always tell you this, the only crazy question is the one that's not asked. So look, when you've got something that's resonating in your thought process that you need to find out the answer, well, we've got people here that is, if it's your grandchild that you're watching, if it's your grandchild that you're raising, if it's a neighbor child, if there's something that you see in that child that causes you to do one of those, I call it those Arsenio moments. Here's the time that you need to talk to somebody and find out, because they can get in touch and make appointments, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm. How can they get in touch with you, number one?
Well, if you were trying to get in contact with me, you'd be.
Well, you in the board.
So it's gonna.
Dr. Stromas.
Well, for me, you can just contact me via cell phone at 850-525-9494.
Oh, you give it out?
I just give it out.
Now
I can change it if you get. I can always change the phone.
If you get blown away. I mean, but that is really good. Yeah. That let me know that you are so serious about what you're doing, because when you hand out your cell phone number, that means, hey, look, I really mean business. Absolutely. That you want to help somebody. Yeah. Now, we hit just a tad a moment ago some of the things that you are covering, and you said that this year you are focusing on what?
The men and young boys.
On the men and the young boys.
From boys
Tell
to
me
men.
what's up.
Yeah, so this year is supposedly going to be emphasized on young boys and men. So we titled it From Boys to Men, just kind of going through the development from a boy to a man, focusing on the transitions and the chapters that we take graduated from a boy to a man, but more so looking at the mental health component of it.
We haven't many men have signed up.
Well, it's open, so this year we didn't.
You don't have to register.
Just come walk on in.
Men, please go. Please go. And if you know of a neighbor's child along with your child, take that child with you, please, because this is the only way that we're going to get the solution for the problem that's so readily right here in front of us. Until we come together as a community,
Absolutely. Yeah.
and grab a hold to this thing, we'll be talking about this next year with the same thing. Without any type solution that's been there, even trying to get something started to prevent this. Because I hate to see our young people dying so fast.
Absolutely.
They are dying so fast. And you know, now I often tell this when I look around, I say, look, the younger people are dying faster than the older people who are 100 years old.
Yeah, it's okay to grow old.
It's
Yeah,
okay.
it's okay. That's the goal.
You don't have to go nowhere and just leave it early.
But if you were to look at the top 10 causes of death in America, number 11 is going to be homicide. If you were to look at young black boys, number 1 is going to be homicide. And no one's even really talking about that.
Say that again.
The number 10 or 11 for your average person is going to be homicide.
Jesus.
The number 1 is going to be homicide for young men 16 to 24-year-old. That's the number 1 cause. And nobody's really speaking on that topic, in my opinion, too. And when we go back to thinking about, and I'm just jumping in
Please
here.
talk.
I was a correction officer. This is where a lot of my attention started to become very prevalent. When I was a correction officer after college, I used to see so many young men come in and out of prison. And I would say, what do you do to stop this? And that's when prevention started to be my whole thing. And that's what we started to say. We've got to prevent that from even happening. And a lot of time we get in a crisis, and that's when we want to fix something. It's a crisis now. It's a hurricane coming. We want to get ready for the hurricane now when the hurricane's here versus let's prepare for this hurricane because at some point it's going to come anyway. And if we can prevent some things, then think about how many, like a life I could save versus someone who's already in the system. Because once you become in that system, you lose your right to vote, lose your right to bear arms, you lose all of your rights once you're in the system. And then a lot of people don't even want to give you a job opportunity.
They want to give you the opportunity to try to rebuild.
Yes, and then that perpetuates and exacerbates somebody with a mental health disorder. It starts to worsen that too, because now I don't even have a way to provide for my family, and that's something else that's becoming strenuous on my thought process. And now I'm out here doing the same things I was doing before to try to make a living.
Substance use.
Yeah, substance use. Yeah.
Wow. You're educating me a lot, and I love it. No, because these are things that I see, but now it's validated because I'm hearing it from people that work with this every single day. And when you said that when you go and they are incarcerated, I have read somewhere that there's a high percentage if you go in that you'll go back.
Yes. I don't know the exact number.
I don't know that. I read it.
This is what I want you to hear too, though. There are more African American men in college than prison.
Amen. I'm glad you said it.
But let's clarify this, though.
That's right.
But there are more black men tied to prison than are in college. Because if you look at the number of men tied, you got to stay parole and probation. There are about 7 times the amount out that are in prison tied to the prison system. So at any moment, they could be right back in prison.
Whew.
And then most people that go to
chills
prison,
to me then.
but this is the strange thing about prison, though. Most people that go to prison, they find out up to 40 to 50% have a mental health disorder, undiagnosed. The prison system is actually the biggest mental health system, and nobody speaks on that either.
Get out of here. No. So are you telling me when they're incarcerated, there's nobody in there to talk to them or tell them you need to go get some lithium or whatever?
No, I'm saying when they get to prison, that's when they finally realize
that there is a problem.
Yes, I had a disorder. Because at that point, they're going to test you for everything when you get in prison. And those behaviors are going to be seen by somebody, a psychiatrist in the prison. Okay,
so if they test it and they find out you had it, are they going to give you anything for it?
Well, I worked in a jail for New Orleans, so this is what typically happens there. It's so few providers to deal with everybody. They'll give you enough to see you, but I don't think it'll be enough to heal you, if that makes any sense. If Jeremy came there and there are 3,000 inmates, how is he going to process with all 3,000 inmates? He's the only provider coming.
Oh, wow.
He's going to do as much as he can.
So is there a way that we can work on fixing that?
Now that would probably be some kind of governmental political thing. I think that would have to that would have to fix that, or volunteering. But I don't even know if they allow that to even happen because a lot
that's
of
why we just say prevention.
Yeah,
just prevent getting in the system and getting tired.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so with the younger people, because you see now, I mean, even with the little kids, I was really blown away here last week when they said there was a 14-year-old who did that shooting that was in Atlanta, and even here you hear of so many young people. They drop out of school. Yeah. There's no guidance. Okay, mama, daddy don't say, get your butt back in school. With your symposium, do you touch things like that? How important education is? That an idle mind will really get in trouble.
So I've always linked the correlation between education and incarceration because there's a correlation. If you look at the numbers, 95% of people with a college degree, they don't end up in prison.
Right.
98% of people with a master's degree, they don't go to prison. But we're pushing, I hate to say this, we're pushing sports, entertainment. We're pushing all these things in our community, but we're not pushing education, in my opinion, as hard as we should be pushing it. Because education can resolve just about any issue, any problem we have. Knowledge on something is gonna create solutions to something.
Absolutely.
And I don't think we're always focused on, some people are wanting a quick fix, so money is the first thing they're focusing on versus long term. How long would that money last? That's the reason we're out here selling drugs, doing things.
Quick
in the
money
community.
will always get you in trouble.
Yeah, yes. but we've got to find long term solutions that are going to benefit not just me, but the community within itself. And then the type of people, me wanting love in a community where I don't get love, and a person who's showing me love that's negative. I don't see them as negative. I see them as a positive person, and now that's a cycle of behavior, a pattern of behavior that continues because I'm modeling his behaviors too.
Absolutely.
You know, and and mentoring and being a positive image is what we really want to do. We want them to see a different side because everybody wants to be an entertainer. Everybody wants to play sports. We want to say, look, we're therapists. And look at what we're doing for and to the community, and look at how you could go the same way, same route, and you can even come to us if you want someone to be open to do therapy with. We want to be we want to transcend a lot of things.
Absolutely. And I love the fact that I want to make sure that when you watch this show this afternoon, younger people, look at this young man right here. Look at this young man right here. Started out in school together. Now we call you who?
Doctor.
Now we call you who?
Dr. Stromas.
Okay. Yeah. You are a what?
Licensed professional counselor.
Okay, do you hear what I'm saying? And these are people that look just like you. So what I'm saying is young people that are out there making a difference. Tell them what made your mind that you were going to become Dr. Stromas.
I always wanted to help people, but going the highest route was going to give me the most independence so I can do how I want to do it and when I want to do it.
We just talked about that.
Yeah, get that freedom. Because again, when I was going to these conferences, I wasn't seeing people looking like me who wanted to come back into the community.
Right.
Yeah, because like you said, Mr. Rogers, he doesn't understand. So you think he's coming down?
No way.
To Pensacola? No, he's
way.
not coming.
Mr. Rogers gonna say hello or goodbye and keep going.
But I'm gonna come into the community.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that you guys are doing that because in our community we need that for our young people to see people that look like them, and success looks good on us.
Yes.
And there's a lot of us that are successful, but I want us to bring it back to the community and not say, well, I've been there, done that, I'm keep moving. Forget about where I come from.
Yeah, and that's never been us. We've always been, like I said, transcending.
Right.
We want that to be a community thing that we give back to people who learn to give back. And I think, let's go back to Mr. Rogers. Mr. Rogers will come in our community, but he's going to charge you so much money, no one's going anyway.
You ain't going to be able to win.
No one's going to go anyway. The things we're doing are for free.
Yeah.
And I don't think that anybody's actually getting that part about us speaking to the community, being here for the community. And we can make as much money as we wanted to make if we were doing this for money, but we're not even getting any money from this. This is all about helping the community.
Well, that's because, see, Mr. Rogers don't really care. Mr. Rogers looking at that dollar, but you're looking at the community.
Yes.
And that's what makes the difference because you care about your own.
Yeah.
And I just want everybody that's watching to see and to hear the depths of what you guys are doing, how you're taking this, and then it's absolutely free. So this is of your own time.
Yes.
Well,
we have people volunteering too that's helping out. They're providing their services too for free.
Really? So, give me a few.
So we have some barbers, we have other presenters, people who brought in the snowballs, the facility. So a lot of people
twins with the snowball?
No, it's another
Oh, that's, no.
Yeah, so a lot of people are behind us pushing and making sure the mission
What, do I have the
gets
wrong
accomplished.
snowball?
Yeah. Say it again.
Do I have the wrong snowball?
Yeah. Well, you can come and get one.
Yeah.
Just served ice are provided.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Every time I think about them, because I thought that was someone. I saw those two guys step out. They did that. And I called them the snowballs, okay? But no, that's a good thing. And I see that you're bringing in a lot of things that you can let the young people see that they can do as well.
Yes.
They can make a career out of barbering. They can make that career, but you got to go to school first.
Yes.
The education piece.
Education, knowledge is power.
Yes.
And that is a great thing that you're doing. Now, where's this symposium going to be held?
So it's going to be at the Brownsville Center, Saturday, September 14th from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m.
Oh, that's this weekend?
Yeah, this weekend coming up, yeah.
Oh, wow, we got this on right timing. I mean, so everybody, listen up, coming up this weekend, this is absolutely great. So men, grab the boys and bring them out so they can learn something and look at the people that look like you, that really care about you. And I don't want anybody to think that I'm saying that nobody of another race that don't care. But what I'm saying is this, that with our children, they feel 100% more comfortable talking, opening up to somebody that they feel that really care about them. And I'm not saying that you don't care. But what I'm saying is I would feel comfortable talking to you because you look like me. I would feel comfortable telling you the things that I'm dealing with because you look like me and you know my culture.
Yes.
And it's going to be a different reception of what it is. Instead of me writing a prescription saying, go take this lithium, but you're going to sit there and talk. I say that because I know somebody who went through that and had to take lithium, okay?
Okay, it's all right, it's all right.
I mean, she went through this whole thing of manic depression, and when she found out that she was bipolar, right?
Yeah, misdiagnosis.
Misdiagnosed, and then she had to end up taking this medication. And but we have to try to catch our kids early enough.
Yes.
So they can fight this battle in a way that they can win this thing and become productive citizens.
From boys to men. So.
Oh, I love that. You know, we need to get boys to men here to sing the next time. You know, if we had boys to men singing it here right now, we want to show. You wouldn't have enough room out there. I mean,
you probably move us onto the side.
We'd be over here in the corner.
When they come out there, here we are, from boys to men. You all would have, you ever say, oh, thank you guys, move out.
Let's go on out of here.
But everybody, we are talking with Dr. Stromas and Mr. Johnson here from Lakeview.
No, I'm at a federal hospital.
Oh, excuse me?
Yeah.
Straighten me out.
Oh, no.
No, I love it. I love the fact of what you're doing. We're going to have more and want you to be a part of this conversation. Please call us up at 850-432-7768. Ask the questions that will make you feel better with Sunshine's Corner.
You finally found the perfect car in racing blue. You even got them to throw in the LED fog lights for free. Auto Owners insures your car because some people never learn to parallel park. That's simple human sense.
Ask the Messick Insurance Agency in Pensacola if Auto Owners make sense for you.
Keep going. More. No, stop!
In our democracy, your vote matters. Make your voice heard. Get registered. Seek out reliable reporting on the candidates and issues and vote on or before November 5th. Visit vote411.org. This message is furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Watch a new episode of Crime Stoppers, Wanted Fugitives every Friday at 6 p.m. Hosted by Sergeant Melanie Peterson and David Craig. Your tips may be eligible for a cash reward, featuring items about officer training, various aspects of police work, and crime prevention information. You'll hear about upcoming family-friendly engagement events as well. Don't miss Crime Stoppers, Wanted Fugitives every Friday at 6 p.m.
Keeping your family healthy can be complicated. Baptist makes it better with trusted primary care doctors for the whole family and trusted specialists at convenient locations throughout the region ready to care for you. All when you need us most. Let Baptist make it better. Baptist Healthcare.
Lloyd's Glass and Correct Calibration Services is a one-stop shop because you can come get your windshield replaced, and right behind that replacement at the same appointment, we will calibrate the cameras, and when you leave, everything's ready to go. There's no need to go to the dealership, or there's no need to come back for another appointment. We just take care of it at one time. We put the customer first, and we strive to do everything right the first time.
Lloyd's Glass and Correct Calibration Services, your one-stop shop with same-day service.
And welcome back to the hottest spot in town. I'm talking about a conversation now that's sizzling hot today. No, because of how high it is right now with what's going on in and around, not only in Pensacola,
yes,
but it's happening all over the world. But my concern is right here and now, because this is where I reside, and this is where I'm, have grown to know these children, that I know that it can be a better future for them. We were talking about off camera, and you said something about, and I said about those pants.
Yeah.
Pants on the ground.
Yeah,
pants on the ground.
So, and I was saying to you, the foot in the door technique. Before I can ask you for something greater, I have to get a small thing asked from you first. Once I get you open to answering and being welcome to me asking you one thing, you'll be open to something greater when I ask you again.
Okay.
That's called a foot in the door technique. But usually it really means when you ask somebody one thing and they agree to that one thing, it's easier for you to ask the second, third, fourth, and
So
fifth
I'm not
thing.
going to ask you to pull your pants up the first time.
No, I mean, because I'm not
I'm
going
going
to
to say tighten your belt.
because I'm probably not going to want to deal with you at that point.
I got you. I hear you.
So if I at least told you I like your shoes, and you think we can go shopping for shoes, or I tell you something that you agree to, then something you might have not even agreed to, you'll be open to.
Oh, I like your shoes, but I can't see them because your pants down.
I get you.
I mean, but no, I see the picture that you're painting.
Yeah.
So the next time, okay, man, we're going to get you these pants over here. You like those pants? But then they're a little bit tighter coming up.
Yeah, or how you like that belt on the rack.
Yeah, because you don't see it.
Yeah, let's try these pants. Let's pull your pants up now.
Yeah.
I'm
Watch
open
how
to
this
it
feel.
now.
Do you know why your navel is right here?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't mean that you got to pull them up to your neck.
Yeah.
I mean, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But pull them up so I can see. I love that. I love that. I won't yell at them why pull your pants up?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
that's that.
Old school.
Hello, pull up the pictures up.
And then we got to think about conscientiousness too. If I'm unconscientious about something, I'm not open to whatever is going on around it. I'm not conscious of that. But if someone makes me aware of what I'm doing and how that really looks, and I really take a glimpse of how it looks, I may be open quicker because I'm now conscientious. Just like a car. If I drive a certain car, before I drove the car and I didn't have this vehicle, I never saw that car on the highway. When I drive that car, I see it on the highway all the time. I'm conscientious of it now.
I say that all the time. I get it. Good stuff. Are you yet evaluated? And I'm getting mine free to do it.
Yeah. But we're just trying to get some people, and this is what we're doing with Awakening, especially with mental health. A lot of us are not even conscientious of mental health to begin with.
Why do we think that mental health is something bad? I'm talking us. Black people think it's something bad. If you say you got, man, he crazy.
Because that's what I think I spoke with this the first symposium. It's called misunderstanding. Mm-hmm. If I speak a language that's foreign to you, is that do you understand it? Mm-hmm. When you don't understand something, to you it seems crazy.
Right.
But when you get understanding, the craziness goes out the window because I understand that language now. When I don't understand Spanish and someone teaches me Spanish, there's no way Spanish sounds crazy because I understand it.
Right.
That's becoming conscientious of what's going on. When I'm unconscientious, I don't care. It's nothing it makes no sense to me. But now someone has awakened me to this. I understand it. It's no longer crazy, and it'll never be considered crazy because I understand what's going on now.
How is that, like you see kids sometimes, right? And you can see them fooling their parents big time. And you see it like it's the hand in front of your face. But mama don't want to accept it. Mm-hmm. That she sees it too, but instead of correcting, they allow the child to go ahead. How do you handle situations like that? Do you got to get mama in there first to look, mama? I like them shoes.
So that's working with the parent and the child. And then one thing I'd like to stress to parents is that you gotta keep a child on a schedule. And that when I mean a schedule, I mean if I'm going to discipline my child, I have to be consistent and not extreme. Consistency means that we don't say go to bed at 10 o'clock tonight go to bed at 3 o'clock tomorrow, go to bed at 8 o'clock the next night. The inconsistency is gonna make the child inconsistent. Or the child going from, like, let's say I had a son and I have dual custody, so his mom's with him this weekend, he's with me this weekend.
Oh, I got
Her rules, my rules, they're gonna be out of whack because there's no consistency with the discipline, no consistency with what they're responsible for, and probably no consistency with rewards, meaning I give positive affirmation, she doesn't give positive affirmation. His conditioning is gonna be all out of sync and all out of whack because the way the two parents are parenting the child. So you wanna teach parenting to not be too extreme, because once we get to being too extreme, that's when issues start to come with the child.
Okay. When you tell a child that you have your doctoral degree and that you are Dr. Stromas, how do they look at you? Oh man, you doctor man? Do they talk to you?
I mean, they
But you know how our kids are.
Yeah.
But they feel like they can ask you that because why? You look like them.
And I also lower myself in a sense and not try to feel or think I'm superior, because I'm not.
Exactly.
It's just a title. Right?
I hear you.
Yeah.
But that's a good thing though, and I'm saying that because kids out there need to know now that they can do the same thing.
Yes.
And everybody can't rap.
They
can't run a football either.
Everybody can't run that
or
football.
shoot the basketball.
They can't shoot that, and they can't even play baseball.
Yeah.
And that's okay. So there's other options to be successful besides entertainment and sports.
But you know what? I think Mr. Rogers' neighborhood got it like that. Oh, sports.
Yeah.
That's not true.
Yes. But it's also a culture identity too. We put our culture, it's not just, it's not us, it's our culture that puts more emphasis on football players, entertainers, athletes. If right now Lil Wayne, I'm just making a name, and I no disrespect to Lil Wayne, if he wanted to speak on mental health, they let him speak before they let me and Dr. Stromas. They'd be more welcome for him to represent that than us, and we're the experts. That's how.
But Lil Wayne has a problem.
I'm not knocking him, but I'm just putting it out there. Or let's say LeBron James.
Right.
They would let LeBron James speak on that
I
topic
hear you,
before
because
me.
he has that title, Mr. Man, who's done all of this, and probably just needs some pills too.
I don't know. I don't know anything about that. But
look, you know me. I'm like I said. I just like to put it out there.
But that's going to be a part of a stigma with our culture when someone doesn't even understand your culture. And it's just going back again to why we think we're crazy. When someone doesn't understand you, let's go to school. That's a teacher who doesn't understand conduct disorder, oppositional defiant, antisocial behaviors. I'm putting you out of class. ADHD, I'm putting you out of class. I'm not trying to understand, does this person have a problem? Is this mental or is this behavioral? And when we're not even trying to consider what the person's dealing with, that's where you see, young black boys are 3 times more likely to be suspended from school than most kids in school. That's why you see that prisoner pipeline, because some of these teachers are not being trained on competency. Not all, but some are not. And then you're gonna see that behavior and that pattern continue to happen over and over. And then they're not letting us come into the schools and do workshops. Maybe some are, but I think it should be a workshop where we come in and we teach you some of these patterns to watch out for.
You mean for the teachers?
Yes, ma'am.
They won't do it?
I don't know.
We gotta do it?
Yeah, I know I've tried to get in certain schools and they would never let me in those schools.
Really?
So.
Because you said something, I think that we should put a pin there. You said because it could be where they're putting these kids on that ADHD medicine when they're zombies then.
Yes.
And when it's not, it could be just something else.
It could be a whole nother disorder.
Whole nother disorder instead of that. But with the fact that they do not have the knowledge and recognizing that because that's not there.
Exactly.
Expertise.
So that's what they're doing. So let me calm this child down. Oh, he has ADHD, give him a pill. Give him a pill every morning before he comes to school. And that child could be dealing with something else.
And then let's go back to that provider. That could be a licensed professional counselor who's not even going to be thorough with that assessment. And then this is what I think I do well with my assessments and speaking, like Jeremy was saying a second, speaking their language, not speaking above or beneath them, but speaking to them. Because you got to speak to the heart of people. And I know when I do assessments, I take my time with explaining the questions. Because a lot of times you say these questions that's above the person's understanding.
Right.
And they don't even comprehend what they're answering, and they're answering things that give them the diagnosis versus something that, no, I really don't feel that way because I didn't even understand what you were asking.
Now you took me back. I don't even know if you guys are old enough to remember this show or not, but I can remember back with Good Times.
Oh, I remember.
Come on. If you don't know
when
Good Times.
Michael was saying about his friend, he failed the competency test because they said, at your parents' house, do they put the coffee in a saucer? He said, Mama, He didn't fail the test. He wasn't talking his culture because he did not understand. They never had a coffee cup in the house, and they all sleep in the same bed.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
The cultural competence.
Yes.
So that's why we do these events to bring it to the community so they can better understand different languages too as well.
Right.
So, absolutely. Yeah.
So are we in the schools to let the teachers know they're invited?
Absolutely. Teachers, supervisors, coaches, principals, barbers, other mental health providers, anybody.
And we really need these people to be present too, because who's being with your kid more than a teacher?
They spend a lot of time.
And
with our children.
Yes, and if they don't have any cultural competency, we really gonna have some issues with a lot of our children. And I think that's what this event will actually.
Do you find sometimes not cut across you that they get offended? Yes, because they don't know. And they think that you're trying to insult them because they're not wise up on what the culture is. They think because it's only one way. I'm just being real.
But it's all about education, right? As a teacher, you should believe in education. So you can teach, but you can't be taught. So everybody, like even in our profession, we got to collect CEUs, meaning we got to stay abreast to the profession.
And then every year we're finding out something we learned was not right.
I got
you. My example of this is a teacher. A teacher in the first grade, taught me that a ton was 1,000 pounds. It wasn't until I was in the third grade
that you knew.
Yeah, another teacher told me a ton was 2,000, and I went back and forth because I was taught wrong.
Exactly.
But I was open to change because I knew better.
Exactly.
You know, so when a teacher is open, you can reach anybody who's open to hear you out. I don't think someone who's closed-minded will ever hear you out, no matter what you're saying.
I agree. When they've already drawn their conclusion.
Yes.
It's already there, Mr. Rogers.
Yeah.
I got you. I'm just saying. No, I'm being real.
Yes, ma'am.
But listen up, everybody. We are talking facts here today. And we are inviting you to make sure that you tell the men, the boys to men, to come out this weekend. It's going to be there at Brownsville.
Yes, ma'am, Brownsville.
What time?
12 p.m. to 4 p.m.
From you can get up and wash your car and still get there. Okay, bring the kids out. It is absolutely free. Pass the word. Tell somebody. And make sure you let them know. If you missed it this morning, watch it again this afternoon at 6 o'clock. We'll be back with more right here at Sunshine's Corner.
I just remembered it's election day. Are you going to vote?
I don't know. I don't think I'll have time today.
Millions of eligible voters in America never make it to the polls or even register to vote. When you don't vote, you're letting other people make decisions for you and pick the things your taxes will pay for. Voting is more than a civic duty. It gives you a voice about the priorities and the future of your community and our nation. Voting gives you a seat at the table.
Well, I think it's all about local, and I'm a big believer in local. So I think anytime you can carry a message out locally, it's important. And I think it's anytime the person that delivers the service can also deliver the message, which is unusual. You have the people that actually deliver the project doing the talking, and I think that's a huge difference and really makes a huge value difference for the consumer. So I'm really just so grateful that we have this local opportunity with Blab TV. My name is Quint Studer, and I am Blab TV.
The Reesburg Institute, Pensacola's ear, nose, throat, and voice center. We welcome you to visit us at our convenient Davis Highway location in Pensacola. At the Reesburg Institute, we offer the most advanced treatment available in a calm, stress-free environment. Since 2014, we've performed over 1,000 cases in office of balloon sinus surgery, as well as septoplasty and nasal procedures using oral sedation. The in-office procedures result in a faster healing time. Visit us and feel the difference.
Hello, my name is Eric, and this was my first visit to Little John's. The selection, the pricing here, and the customer service were outstanding. I would definitely recommend. The staff was very friendly, and they'll get you what you need.
Hi, this is John with Little John's Big and Tall here in Pensacola, Florida at 5700 North Davis Highway. Check us out at littlejohnsbigandtall.com, where we can take care of you with extra large up to 14X and large tall to 6X tall.
And welcome back to the hottest spot in town because, you guys have a full staff. And when I say full staff, this is what I mean. I was just informed you got a doctor, you got a clinician, I mean,
attorney,
nurse
practitioner,
social worker,
everything. Because there are so many things that can lead to even with adults having mental health issues.
Yes.
We even brought up the fact about a divorce. We skipping to the grown folk now. I mean, because you said something, Dr. Stromas, that bad relationship mess you up. I mean, and there's so many things that people deal with, even when they're young, old, and in the middle. Let's think about this. If a child is affected about mom and daddy's divorce. That can send a child over there, right? And if the parents are not strong enough, that can really affect the child in a negative way. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, you're right.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Right.
Because of the issues that they're dealing with, that can cause that child to lash out.
Yes.
Does it may end up trying drugs? I mean, these are all possibilities. But what I'm saying is, if we started from the bottom to work our way up, for preventive measures.
Yes, ma'am.
You know what I'm saying? Even though, let's say with a child in a family that's broken, if we know that, if the parents see that that child is going through this because of the breakup between mom and daddy, so therefore shouldn't all three of them maybe go to a counselor to make sure that that child understands the breakup, that it's not because of the child? Don't you think?
Well, I would recommend them to family and marriage therapy, you know, and where everyone would see their role, their responsibility, and then it would, you know, you'd have to teach that child that this is nothing against you. This is about our relationship, you know, because one thing you have to do with family dynamics is see your relationship and who you are to those people versus who those people are to each other.
And also ensure that the child isn't thinking they're the problem. Because I've seen that happen too.
And that's where I'm linking who am I to my mom versus who am I to my dad, and where does the problem come? Is it my relationship with my mom, my relationship with my dad, or is that the problem between my mom and dad? When I can finally see that, I can have a different perspective of, okay, the problem's not me, the problem's between these two people. Because a lot of kids, that's what the first thing they do. They think they created part of that problem with mom and dad.
Really?
Yes.
Unbelievable. So, I mean, you all are so, I don't care which ball I throw your way, you got the answer for it. Come on, Doc. I mean, it is absolutely phenomenal, the knowledge that you have, and I see that you don't just hold the knowledge like this, as my mama said, don't get and do this. You want to share this so that you be able to reach out to help somebody else. Even with the kids and today, because I think that's the main issue right now, that if we can save and point our kids in the right direction so they can stop losing their lives at such a young age, that if it's okay to see a mental health therapist, it's okay to talk to somebody, because pressure will bust a pipe. If you hold that pressure in long enough, something's going to explode. You know what I mean? And so therefore, let's not just pretend that the issue's not there. Or even if you are a single parent, don't just think that, oh, I don't want to talk to him anymore because he did that. No, he's a part of it too. So all of you need to get together and think about the good of the child. You know what I'm saying? Just because you and I didn't make it, that I'm not divorcing you as a father. I'm not divorcing you as a mother. I'm divorcing him, but like you said, we got to a point we outgrew each other, whatever the case may be. But the fact of it is that child gonna be yours till the day you die. So don't take the focus off the child. I want to commend you guys on what you're doing, because with this symposium that's coming up on this weekend, Boys to Men, make sure we want everybody to, all the men especially, make sure you're there at Brownsville Community Center. Get the boys in the neighborhood if it takes it. Get your car, say, look, we're going out to have a little fun this afternoon. We're going to hang out with some people who want you to see what you can be tomorrow. And when they get there and see everybody that looks like them, that's going to say, oh, I can do this, you know? I don't have to just do that. And to get your focus on the education, because knowledge is power. You were about to say something.
Well, I'm going back to the reason for doing a lot of things. All right, I came from that household where nobody in my family went to college, and I started doing the research on college, and you'd see 65% of black men who have a degree come from a household with two parents. And the biggest thing I found was that those other 35%, they had mentors. They had someone they could look up to. They had that person that made them feel purpose and make them feel like, hey, I can achieve things despite my circumstances.
Right.
And that's what we've been wanting to do. We want to be Maybe everybody doesn't come from the 65. Maybe there's more in the 35, and they're going to need that mentor, and they're going to need to see images and people that look like them that are succeeding despite what they've been,
They've been through, what they had to deal with.
Yes, and that's what we want to be. We want to be someone you can look at and say, in spite of whatever they've been through, they've been perseverant and they willed their way to their success. And we want people to be successful, and we want people to be open to mental health, because mental health is detrimental to our community if we don't get a hold of it.
Absolutely. And I tell you, when you see Dr. Stromas give out his cell phone number, so you know that he means business with it.
I can always change it.
But the fact that, now, and don't forget about Saturday. We got 2 minutes, guys. So that's going to be on Saturday at 12 noon at Brownsville Community Center. Everybody know where that is, in the heart of the community. And of course, I'm sure Lumen May, he's going to be there because that's his district.
Yeah, he's one of the sponsors.
Okay, he's one of the sponsors that's going to be there. And I encourage everybody to make sure you bring the kids out. And come on, watch them grow from boys to men.
Yeah, free food, free haircuts, free ties, free education. Free mentors are going to be there. We're
free
looking for mentors.
Skills.
Yep, everything.
Everything free.
Yes,
and I
ma'am.
tell you, so parents, please remember this. If you did not get the chance to be a part of this show today, make sure you choose tonight to tell everybody to sit down. Let's have a cup of tea and watch the show coming up at 6 o'clock this evening. It has been a fantastic day. I want to thank Dr. Stromas. I want to thank Mr. Johnson for coming in, driving from New Orleans to be a part of this show today, because I really commend him, because this information is so important to our community. I appreciate you from the heart that you would take that time to come share what we needed to be shared. And Dr. Stromas, thank you for being so easy. I could tell you were easy to talk to with our emails.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
appreciate
No
that.
problem.
We're going to be talking even more, because we're going to get them doctors on here. Okay? the physical doctor, whatever, the lawyer, all of them.
Yeah, okay.
But everybody, I've got to get out of here. It's been a fantastic Monday, and what a way to start off the week with nothing but positive information. But I'll leave you as I do every single day. Never, ever lose your focus. Always remember, if you keep God first in whatever you do, I can guarantee you this. Put him first and watch what's going to happen. So until tomorrow morning for another day of nothing but sunshine, know that I love you with a perfect kind of love, and keep shining while I'm gone. Don't miss this symposium this weekend, 12 noon at Brownsville Community Center. Until the next time, know that I love you.
Sunshine's Corner, being brought to you by Quint and Richie Studer.